Welcome to the J&J Sip and Say. Jill, how are you feeling?
Better compared to last week.
Yeah, our sickness in the Sewell household prevented us from doing an episode last week. My voice was cracking like a 12-year-old boy's, and you were pretty manly with yours. So
I sounded like a 60-year-old man.
yeah, you had a deeper voice than I did. So we didn't figure that'd sound too good on the podcast. So we took a week off. It's good to be back. And guess what Friday is?
October 11th,
Which is
our 5-year anniversary.
5 years already. Has it flown by for you?
Some ways, yes, some ways, no.
Same here. Yeah, it was. It's been a lot of fun. It doesn't seem like 5 years ago in some ways, but a lot of ways it seems like it's been a long time ago. So today we thought, hey, let's talk about some of the things that we do that just kind of makes our marriage happy, and I feel like we both are very compromising, and just what makes us click, I guess you would say. So did you write some key notes down like I did?
Yeah, about 2 minutes ago. Your list is longer, and I don't want to repeat anything in your list. Why don't you start?
Okay. The first thing I think is most important in any marriage, any relationship actually, is communication.
I would agree with that.
It doesn't matter if you communicating about simple things like, what you're doing after work or where you're going, or if it's big things like finances, children, stuff like that. I think being completely open, telling your significant other how you feel about things is huge.
Right, if you're not communicating about anything, I mean, you're just kind of like roommates. Even roommates communicate, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of people's problems is lack of communication. Like I said, it doesn't have to be marriage. It could be a relationship. It could be a coworker. Just telling people how you feel about stuff. And I think it's most important in a marriage because there are going to be a lot of times where you have disagreements or might want to do something different, whether it be finances, how you want to raise children, anything like that. And be able to just be 100% honest with each other. Honest is the key.
I've already told you that you are the only person in my entire life that I am 100% honest with about everything.
Yeah, it seems like you're the type of person that will just let other people slide on some things, just kind of let it go, not call them out, just kind of go with the flow a little bit more. But man, if I do something, I mean, you jump on me like crazy.
I wouldn't say I jump on you.
Why is that?
I guess I spend the majority of my time with you. And I guess I look at it as if something bothers me, I need it taken care of, or I need to take care of it. If someone on the street or a coworker or, even friends don't treat me well, or you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like I can call you out. I have to, in a sense, put up with you. I have to live with you. You are my husband. You are the father of my child. And so I feel like I have to call you out on things, or it's going to just eat me up every day.
You called me out on something 35 minutes ago.
What was that?
I had a couple cocktails this afternoon, and
back to the ice thing. So, okay. Yeah. Again, listeners, I didn't have any ice for my water with my dinner.
Okay. Here's where Jill is incorrect. I did fill up the trays. They were not frozen yet.
Okay. But key is there was still no ice for me to use.
That's
because
also,
you had used them all for your cocktails.
That's incorrect. There is a 22-pound bag of ice in our stand-up freezer in the garage.
I don't feel like going to the garage.
I volunteered to go get it. You would rather just complain about it. See, this is open communication. This is healthy for a relationship.
I just took the half frozen cubes and put them in my water.
You just wanted to complain about it. Granted, I did fill the trays up.
Yes, very good. Props to you.
They just did not.
You took notes from our first podcast.
They just did not get frozen fast enough.
That's
but
correct.
I did have an alternative ice source for you. And I really think you would rather just complain about it.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, 22 pounds of ice is quite a bit of ice.
Okay, anyways, back to our list. So
but little things like that. I mean,
communication.
we did that podcast where we talked about things that annoy us, little things, but we do communicate it. We don't let those small things sit inside of us and just
I would go crazy.
grow and grow and grow until it becomes a bigger issue.
Right. I would probably resent you and just grow into that.
It drives me crazy. You always want some of my food or my pizza or whatever, but we talk about it, we joke about it. It's not a big deal. It's funny. But I'm sure if you didn't say anything about it and just let it fester and keep going, it could lead into more things where all of a sudden it wasn't funny and then it got more serious. So that's why I want to keep trying to fill up the ice
Good
trays.
job. Like I said, they were filled. He did not put the empty ice cube trays back in the freezer.
And I had ice in the other freezer for
So
you.
you get a gold star.
I want my sticker. I want to raise my allowance.
All right, what's next on your list?
The second thing I put was spending time apart. I think this is huge. It's important to spend time with your spouse as much time as possible, but I also think it's important to go your separate ways once in a while. Whether it be, I really enjoy fishing. I love getting up super early in the morning, going to the lake, hitting the water. You get time alone. I get time doing something I want. Or you've started bartending lately, so you get to go do that.
I get to go work.
You like making the money, but it's something you enjoy, and I don't have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that, even if it's maybe in the middle of the day, you're like, hey, I'm going to go lay in bed and do some reading or watch a little TV. I might go out and just chill on the porch or go do something in the garage. It's important to be together, obviously, but I think it's important to kind of get your time away from each other.
Yeah, because you're mean to me.
I'm not mean to you.
I get what you're saying.
It's important, though. I mean, I'm sure,
Everybody needs their alone time or time with friends and
yeah,
away from each other.
you had a photography gig and a bartending gig over the weekend. So Saturday night, once I got Blair down, I just kicked back and watched football for a couple hours before bed, and it was really nice and relaxing. And you've mentioned nights I might be at a racetrack. You're like, this is kind of nice. Once I get Blair down to bed, I just kick back. You might watch a movie or something.
There's no expectation to talk to each other if you're not here or socialize.
Yeah, it's just nice to kind of have some alone time. And I think I'm sure a lot of couples feel like they have to be together all the time. And really, I think it's best if you get away from each other a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's my number 2. You want to throw one of yours out there?
Well, the first one I wrote down, and I think anybody that knows us and knows us well knows that we do this. We don't take each other so seriously.
Nope. Can't do it.
No, there's not a whole lot of seriousness in our relationship.
No, I mean, obviously when we talked about having a child and parenting, we'll get a little serious about that. Finances. Even then we kind of joke about it, but you have to have fun with each other. In my opinion, you should marry your best friend. Your best friend is someone you should be able to joke around with, give a hard time, not be serious all the time with.
No, and anybody, I think there's sometimes that, I'm just going to throw this out there. There's times that Jake tries to seduce me, if you will. And it's completely not in a serious way. And sometimes you get mad at me if I don't take you seriously.
No,
but
I
you
don't.
can't even do it with you can't even do it without smiling.
It's all in fun. To make you laugh is one of my favorite things to do. And it would just be boring if I came home every day and was like, hey, how was your day? Great. Let's sit here and eat dinner, sit and watch TV and go to bed. I have to joke around. And I'm someone, if I like you, I'll joke around, give you a hard time.
So you must like me the most.
Yeah, I'm always giving you a hard time. I wouldn't say I'm mean to you, but I'm going to give you a hard time and call you out on stuff.
Call me out on stuff. Okay.
So, yeah, but like I said, if you're in a relationship, if you're married, whatever it might be, could potentially spend a lifetime with this person. You might as well be with someone who's fun to be around. even on the
And
most
I'm a good time.
even on the most boring Tuesday nights, who cares? Like, find something to laugh about. I mean, you and I will just pull up like random YouTube videos
So lately,
and just laugh about
we
it.
so lately we've been just quick backstory. There was a show on National Geographic a couple years ago. It was called Snake Salvation. And we recently started going to church again. And it just kind of like sparked our interest in this show about snake churches. Now, obviously, the church we go to is not a snake church.
No.
Far from it. But it kind of sparked our interest in the show again. So we started YouTubing clips from it. Well, we went down the rabbit hole of different clips of snake churches and these like crooked televangelists. And that's what we've done a few nights. We just YouTube stuff on our TV and laugh about it.
Yeah, and it's so much more fun than watching a sitcom you've seen, 100 times. But yeah, some of these snake churches and these TV televangelists where they put their hand on someone, they push them down, and all of a sudden they're healed, and
or they want millions of dollars for their personal gain. Anyway, that's a different topic for another podcast. Anyways,
it's just something random and fun.
that we do, and everybody knows the rabbit hole of YouTube. You can get onto some weird stuff,
especially in the evening. Have a glass of wine and like, hey, let's pull up this on YouTube. 2 hours later, you're like, yeah, I didn't know we'd end up here, but it's.
I think everybody feels that way about YouTube.
But it's fun. It's. We don't come home and like sit and sweat about our finances or whatever it might be. We try to find ways to entertain and have fun, and that's important. Like I said, you're marrying your best friend. It should be someone you want to have fun and laugh with. My next one is date each other. Even after 5 years, I really look forward to our date nights. I think even more so after we had Blair.
Yeah, we have to arrange them.
But it's kind of, you look forward to it because
Right.
It's not as easy.
You have to plan it ahead of time.
We mentioned our 5-year anniversary is this Friday. We're actually driving to your parents, and we have you have a photo shoot, and then we have a date night. So like, even though it's our 5-year big anniversary, we still have other stuff to get done.
And
but
we have another wedding to go to on Saturday.
But we're gonna go have a dinner and have a really good time and look forward to it because we haven't done it for a little while, and those date nights are important. I think especially after you have children.
Right, because they don't come around as often.
It's a lot more difficult just to say, hey, let's go grab a bite to eat. If
I never considered us going out to eat on a random Saturday afternoon, considered that a date before we had Blair.
No, it's just what we did.
Right.
But once Blair came along, then it was like, well, do we take him with us?
And
we all know it's much more enjoyable to get a babysitter, usually our parents, his grandparents, and you go to a restaurant, just the two of us. It's a lot more chill. We're not in a hurry.
He's not at a good age to take you to a restaurant right now.
No, he'll be 2 in December, so he's at age where he just wants to get his food and then run around as much as possible. But
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be going out to eat. I mean, we'll go, we'll just take walks around the neighborhood. We'll take him with us, but he's really chill in the stroller, or like, there've been times we might go out to eat and then we might just go to a park and go for a walk together. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but get the time of just the two of you. I know it's just the opposite I said about spending time apart, but
there has to be a balance.
Yeah, you got to have your date time. You got to have husband and wife time because, like I said, it's your best friend, and your kids are obviously most important things in your lives. But it's important to maintain that affection that got you attracted to each other in the first place. What's your next one?
Just doing little things for each other. We've always kind of had pretty tight finances, so we don't spend a lot of money on each other, either for a birthday or anniversary or Christmas. And especially, having a kid now, the focus is kind of off us for Christmas, and both of your birthdays being 8 days before Christmas, kind of again Sorry, Jake, it's not about you
Yep,
anymore. on your birthday.
I've had to share my birthday with Christmas for the last 33 years, and then the last 2 years with Blair, literally on the same day as Blair. So yeah, my birthday
it's
is
not about
pretty
you
nil
anymore.
right now,
But
which is
anyways,
fine. I won't get older that way.
so just doing like little things that, you know, you don't have to put that much effort into, or I guess more effort, but it doesn't take a lot of finance behind it. And an example I came up with that I did for you last year as a part of your birthday is, you know, everyone knows I have my photography business. You're my main man.
I'm your only man.
I know, but I meant for the business.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you are my only man for the business too. And you pretty much do everything. Any job that would go into a photography business, you do it. And so I thought of this idea to kind of say, be a cute way to say thank you for all that you did last year for the business. And so I came up with my own awards night for you.
I swept them.
So I literally came up with every title that you could have labeled yourself with for this business.
It was like research, marketing.
Oh yeah, so I made these awards. So you just find like a blank template online, and I just inserted every single label and printed them all off. So it was like, you know, assistant of the year, second shooter of the year, marketer of the year, best, I don't know,
Bag carrier.
bag carrier.
Like photography,
Just
it's heavy.
anything that you did, I put a label on it, and so I did my own little awards show with you. I had like my flashlights going and some award music, and I just presented them to you. I was like, "Welcome to the Jill Sewell Photography End of the Year Awards," and so at each certificate, you know, obviously had your name on it, and I gave them to you. Now that took zero money. I mean, it did take a little time putting your name into the certificates and printing them off, but really not that much time. And I mean, I don't really know. I mean, you were happy with it.
Oh, it was awesome.
What was
Yeah.
your reaction?
No, it was great because it was personalized.
Right. It was just something little that I did for part of your birthday to kind of say thank you for all that you did last year.
Yeah, and guys, I can tell you that any woman is the one key to Jill. Like, if I'm just like, hey, I want to do something nice, a back rub,
Ooh,
shoulder
yeah.
rub, for any of those three, can't go wrong. Doesn't matter if it's a birthday or just random. That seems to be even more special if it's just a
And
random.
it's zero money.
And it costs no money. You know, get a hand workout. Sit there and watch a little TV while you do it. It's not a big deal. Like, just little things like that.
And that's what I love. I love massages.
I mean, I think you would take that over about any sort of chocolate, flowers, anything like that.
Probably. I do like flowers, but I probably would take a massage. And you, and any holiday, what you normally do is you always write me a nice note or a card, and then you give me money to go get a massage.
Yeah, when you actually want a professional one.
Right.
Someone that's actually qualified.
I mean, I don't want to say it's like you're throwing money at me, but you know that's what I like, and it's kind of my own. You know, I don't hardly spend the money on myself to go do that.
Yeah, and if I bought you a box of chocolates and flowers, you're gonna.
I would have eaten the chocolates and loved the flowers, but
You would have complained about the chocolate.
I like I like massages more.
So yeah, I mean, find what they like, and especially if it's easy, simple, you know, hey, it's more about them than the actual gift giving.
Correct.
So yeah, just the little things, you know. Just doing little things around the house, you know, folding that load of laundry rather than letting it sit, or trying to keep your side of the room picked up, or you know, clean the bathroom. Just little things, just a little bit of effort. I
Without
think.
being asked.
Right? Yeah, just do. If you're sitting there watching something, you know the laundry's done. Grab the laundry basket, grab the clothes, sit there and watch the ball game while you fold clothes. It's not a big deal. But I think just little things like that can really just keep the spark going and keep everyone happy in the household.
Right. What was your next
Do you have
one?
any more over there?
I do, but I'll take it back to you.
Next one I have is don't sweat the little things.
Is that kind of how we don't take each other so serious? A little bit?
I'm talking about you might have a stressful work week, or the week Blair's teething. Yeah, it's very stressful, and he can be a nightmare. Or like I said, work might be crazy, and I come home in a bad mood. You got to let those little things go, because they're not going to affect things a month out or
No.
2 months out. Or
I
a year
struggle
out.
with this too, because you'll call me out on it. I try not to take my frustration out on you, even though I know I sometimes do.
Yeah, you get. Another thing you do is I never see you get mad except when I'm around, and you understandably get frustrated at Blair, and I do too. Any parent of a toddler will, but you can't compartmentalize that I'm mad at him and not Jake. You'll be mad at him, and I'll say something.
I don't want to take it out on him, obviously.
Right, but you'll say something. You'll get mad at him. I'll say something like almost even trying to help, and then you snap at me, and then I get mad. So I've actually learned just to walk away. I'm like, all right, she's mad at Blair. She's not mad at me. She's acting like she's mad at me, which drives me crazy, but I'm just going to walk away, try to help without saying anything.
And then sometimes I still get mad at you because I want your advice and feedback, and you're just quiet.
See, that's where we have issues, because a lot of time, every guy listening to this knows exactly what I'm talking about. You'll just want to vent. You're like, hey, you'll just start talking or complaining about something, and you don't want me to offer any help. As soon as I sit there and listen, then you look at me and go, well, don't you have any ideas? Do you have any input on the subject? What do you think? And then if I give you an answer, then you argue it. So I don't know what to do. So anymore, I'm just like, yeah. I'm learning. It's taken 5 years, and it's probably going to take another 45 to really get it down. But it's sometimes difficult to deal with. But,
I know.
But it's always little things. It's Blair is frustrating you, or when you were still working, you had a problem with a coworker or something like that, whatever it might be. So I've learned just to kind of back off.
And then I want advice sometimes.
But you don't want my advice.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah, but I'll give it to you. Then
I've told you with Blair, it is exhausting trying to figure out everything on my own sometimes. Not that you don't help. You're a very present, involved father. But I kind of run the show, to be honest.
Well, you guys have your schedule. I mean,
we have our schedule, we have a routine. But it is exhausting trying to figure out everything on my own sometimes. And I need your advice. I need someone to bounce ideas off of.
I just don't know.
I don't know either. That's why I'm asking you.
If we knew these answers, we'd write a book.
And be rich.
And we'd be rich.
I know.
Because I guarantee you, everyone with a toddler is like, yeah, my kid sometimes is a really picky eater, or can't tell me what he wants, and sitting there scratching their heads, just not knowing.
Right.
So, but normally those are minor things. When we've had to deal with bigger issues, we seem to sit down, we discuss it, and get whether it be, like I said, finances or with something with Blair, whatever it might be. We sit down, we have a good conversation, we figure it out. The little things, we might get mad at each other. Just let them slide. Talk about it. But if it's not going to affect you guys in 2 months, 3 months, and a year, is it really that big a deal to get worked up about? I think it's really important just to decide what's the small things and don't sweat them. What's your next one?
The last one I wrote down, because I didn't have much time to do this.
Yeah, we've only been talking about doing this podcast for 2 weeks.
Not this one.
Yeah.
Not this specific one.
You knew the anniversary was coming, so.
I know that. I wrote support each other. And I think that has come into play the last couple of years, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. We've faced some situations. After
I wasn't done talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, this is where I should have listened. Instead of put my input, I didn't know what to do, and I obviously picked the wrong one. Continue.
So I said, sorry, still fighting a cough. I said support each other. And this has come into play the last few years. And I would say definitely I started a lot when I was pregnant. And there wasn't a whole lot you could help me or, massage my feet, rub my back.
I tied your shoes.
You would tie my shoes. You'd pick stuff up off the floor for me. I think it all kind of started there because, yes, you were going to be a father as well, but I was the one carrying our child. The weight of the 9 months, literally the weight of the 9 months is on me, or was on me. And I know you felt kind of helpless at times. And I know a lot of guys do. You want to fix and help. And there's not a whole lot you can do to, make things that much better. So while I was the whole 9 months I was pregnant and then also, delivering him, I'm just going to put this out there. You know what I'm going to say. I did not know what to expect from you in the labor and delivery room. Because since we don't take each other so seriously and we joke and banter about everything, I didn't know how you were going to be. I don't think you were never going to be like a jerk to me intentionally. But I didn't know. I just didn't know. Obviously, I've never done this.
I can turn it all on and off. I
Right.
know when things are serious and you need my full attention.
You turned on the seriousness while I was in labor and delivery. And I could feel your support then.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, because, it was a whole new situation for me, I wasn't in a joking mood really either.
No.
Like there wasn't, and maybe if we have another one, it'd be a little different because I know what to expect, but I'd still be obviously supportive. I think another time is there was a stretch when it seemed like you couldn't console Blair. This is when he was real young.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably 2-3 months.
Yeah.
It seemed like he would get really fussy.
He hated me.
I feel he would sense your tension, and you have no patience on the little things like that, and he would sense your stress. I was kind of a new body, and a lot of times I'm more laid back about situations like that. I felt like he could just sense that I was more laid back, more relaxed, so he would relax. But I never said a word, no smart comments or anything.
Because you knew how upset I was about it.
And that's what I'm saying. Yes, I will joke with you 99% of the time, but there are certain times you just kind of gotta be a little more serious and supportive, like you said. During delivering birth.
So I felt like a mother that couldn't console my child.
I think you just were getting so stressed.
Because I couldn't console my child.
And he would sense that, and I
know.
I'd come in. I'm like, oh, I'm laid back, no big deal.
At school, Jake would come in and Blair would just stop crying, and I'd just like throw myself on the bed and cry. I couldn't console my child.
So then I had two people crying, so I had to deal with that. And another time is when you decided you didn't want to go to work or go back to work. When he was 10 months old or 10 weeks old. You called me and said, I don't want to go back to work. And, it would have been real easy to say, well, financially this. And I'm like, no, if that's what you want, because I wanted it too. It's like, hey, we're just going to make this work. We're just going to make it work. And, we'll figure out the finances. We'll work hard about it. And, this past, almost 2 weeks ago, I had a big life change. I actually got let loose from my job. Unexpectedly. And I think it's one of those situations where you and I sit down and had a really good conversation about whether if I should try to stay there where I'm at. And this will be another podcast we'll do here in a couple of weeks about the whole situation. But you were 100% behind me of, what do you think's best? Do you think you can find somewhere where you're happier, less stress, or make more money, whatever?
Well, and you're the one that's out there. I'm home with Blair every day. You're the one that has to go to your job every day. I love my job of staying home with Blair. Yes, I want to pull my hair out some days. Every stay-at-home mom does. But you're the one out there providing for our family. I want you to be happy with what you're doing. And if that took, you losing your job and finding something new,
right,
then so be it.
Yeah, and it's just a situation, like I said, when you said you didn't want to go back to work, it would have been really easy to be like, well, no, you need to go back to work so we can have it easier financially. No, I wanted what you wanted. You wanted to stay home. I wanted you to stay home. We'll make cutbacks elsewhere. When I lost my job, you're like, no, this happened for a reason. You're going to be fine. Just keep, knocking on doors and something better will come up. So just that support of, being on the same side, and you always should be on the same side. And if you don't, talk it out. That goes back to communication. Talk it out. what's best for each one of you and the family. So, like you said, supporting each other, little things and big things.
And I like how, when you were losing your job or any interview you've had here recently, or even, in the past, you've always made it a point to, okay, well, I'm going to talk things over with my wife. You don't ever keep anything from me, and you always make it known to whoever you're talking to that I have a voice in
Right.
in what you're going to do.
Yeah, I've known a lot of people who will focus on career before family, and to me, that's backwards. You do have to go out and make a living, support your family, be productive in society and all that stuff. But the fact is, when I'm 65, I'm not going to look back and be like, man, I wish I would have worked extra hours. I wish I would have stayed more with my family or spent more time or took more vacations. That's the things you're going to look back on. So that's why I make a point of it now to make it where, my next job will be something balanced for a good career, but also good family time.
Yep. What else did you have?
I got one more, and we can wrap this up. Just enjoy the journey. When you get married, or if you just start a relationship, or you just start becoming a parent, it's a journey. You're not going to get things figured out overnight. We've known each other for 10 years now, 11 years. And I think we're still learning things about each other and things we want to do, as individuals and as a couple. I think it's important. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. And like I said, I lost my job a couple weeks ago. It's a bump in the road, but, we're both on the same side. We're supportive of each other, and we'll get through it and be better on the other side. So when these things come up, work together and enjoy everything you can, because I said it didn't seem like that long ago we were engaged, and it was what, 6 years ago we got engaged?
6.5, yeah.
I mean, that time flew by, and then 5 years ago was our wedding. That time flew by, and our son's almost 2. That time has flown by. So time is always going to keep going. So enjoy what you're doing together, and if there's some rifts or some bumps in the road, sit and talk about them, figure it out.
And just because if you're young or if you're dating, that whole love at first sight thing, I don't know how much I believe in that.
I think there's an initial attraction, but
right,
you'll truly.
But what I'm saying is, if just because you don't think they're the marrying type initially, doesn't mean that they never could be.
Right.
Because if someone were to ask you 11 years ago, you would have said, not even just related to me, you would straight up told people, I'm never getting married.
No, I had no intentions of getting married. Now, granted, I was 23 and kind of naive and immature, but
as you tell people, I wore you down.
Well, it's a joke, but I think a lot of people think marriage is just this love and long walks on the beach and all the fun stuff, but it's picking someone that you want to go through the rough times with,
It's not a feeling, it's a commitment.
Right. It's seeing your wife suffer during labor. It's dealing with you wanting to quit your job so you can stay home, or you dealing with me when I lose my job. It's these things in life that pop up. It's, you want to be with someone who you want to go through the hard times, because anyway, it's easy to go through the easy times with anybody. But if you're willing to ride out the rough times with each other and find a way to enjoy it, then that's going to be the person.
You're my person.
You're my person. Well, Jill, it's been almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years Friday. I'm sure we'll go out to a nice little dinner. Probably some pub or something like that. Nothing too fancy.
No, we can't afford that.
Tight budget.
Just don't got tight budget.
We got a babysitter though, so at least we can go to a 21 and over place. So.
Well, if anybody is hiring, Jake has a degree. We're gonna put our shameless plug out there. Jake has a degree in business management and marketing.
Yep, 10 years experience.
Right, and you spent the last 5 years in purchasing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his.
I'm hireable.
He's a very good employee. So that's kind of his resume in a nutshell. So if you are, or you know anyone that's hiring, reach out to us. We'd appreciate it.
We'll find something. We'll be just fine. Like I said, these are just those little rough patches you go through together, and you get better on the other side. So Well, Jill, let's wrap this up. Happy early anniversary. Cheers.
Cheers. Make it a great day and sip and say.